What's up, YouTube? This is Vicente Gonzalez back from the Sit 'em, and it is officially playoff time now. So these picks mean a lot more than they used to. So anyways, it's week 14, let's go. At quarterback, I say start Philip Rivers, Josh McCown, Kirk Cousins, Alex Smith, and Dak Prescott. Risky, I know. And sit Trevor Siemian, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, Blaine Gabbert, Matt Stafford. I couldn't read for a second. Anyways, so Philip Rivers, he's been doing really well. He's developed an awesome relationship with Keenan Allen. They're a hot offense right now. Keep that going. McCown is throwing a lot lately, especially like both Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse are like beasting out there. So keep him going when he's hot, especially against Denver, whose defense is a little pass stingy, but at the same time, they're just not a good defense anymore. Like they let Miami pile on a lot last week against them. It was crazy. Anyways, Kirk Cousins, he didn't do so well last week against Dallas. They commit turnovers. He committed a lot of turnovers, but I think against the kind of weak the Charger defense, which isn't weak too much, but at the same time, I just think Kirk Cousins, it's going to be like a shootout. That's what I'm trying to go for. It's going to be a shootout, and I think Kirk Cousins is going to have to throw a lot. Alex Smith, he had a hot game last week. They lost against the Jets, but he had a hot game. He threw for like 4 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 2 long ones. It was freaking cool. So I think he's going to do the same thing as Oakland. And Dak, okay, I don't know. So I've read some interesting things about this game, calling it a trap game. Because Eli's coming back. The Giants, they fired all their coaches. And they have nothing to lose no more, you know? And Dak, they're struggling. They're still in the playoff race, but it's kind of out there. And Dak just got his mojo back last week. Well, really, he didn't, though. He only threw for like 100 yards. 2 touchdowns with 100 yards. So, I don't know if he's going to do good or not. I think he's going to do good. I'm going to put him in the good column this week. I think you could start him if you need to. Sit Trevor Siemian. He sucks. He threw 3 picks last week against Miami. Are you kidding me? Jimmy Garoppolo, he won the game, but he didn't throw a touchdown. So it works for them with what limited time he's had to learn that offense. But I just don't trust him as a fantasy producer yet. And Jared Goff is going against a tougher Philadelphia defense. He really doesn't play well against good defenses. He doesn't. So if you have to start him, do it. I'm going to start him this week actually because I have nobody else on my team. But I don't expect 30 points. I don't expect him to throw for 3 touchdowns. Blaine Gabbert. I don't think he's going to do so well this week. He had a kind of okay game last week, but he turned it over. The problem with this game is that Tennessee has a really good rush defense, so they won't be able to run the ball, so they're going to rely on Blaine Gabbert to throw a lot more. And Blaine Gabbert makes mistakes. That's just who he is as a quarterback. So the touchdowns versus mistakes is probably not going to be good enough for fantasy production. And Matthew Stafford, he's not done so well ever since Thanksgiving when he got hurt. He hurt his ankle, and the next week he hurt his hand. He's going against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is a really good matchup. They're not a very good defense, but if he's hurt, he could not play, and he's just not 100%. I don't like that, so just keep an eye on his injury. If he says he's 100%, I'm a go, then he's a good start, but I don't trust him this week, especially with the injury maybe hindering him. At running back, start Jamal Williams, Rex Burkhead, Alfred Morris, Kenyon Drake, and Peyton Barber, and sit Eagles running backs, Jordan Howard, Kerwin Williams, Marshawn Lynch, and Alex Collins. See, I said that earlier. Anyways, Jamal Williams has been beasting it for Green Bay. They're like a run team now since Brett Hundley isn't the best passer. And he makes so many opportunities. I thought maybe last week that Aaron Jones was going to come in and take carries away from him, but he didn't. Aaron Jones had 1 carry, and it was for a 20-yard touchdown in overtime, which is cool. But Jamal Williams has definitely solidified a lot of touches for himself, so he's a good starter. Especially against Cleveland. I forgot it's Cleveland. Rex Burkhead has scored a lot these past 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember, but he's involved in the passing game. He got a 1-yard touchdown last week. Keep him going. Alfred Morris had a beast game. That's wrong. It's not Washington this week. It's New York. But anyways, he killed Washington. He did really good. He averaged 8+ yards a carry. It was ridiculous. And I don't think New York's going to be any better. They let Marshawn Lynch go for a 51-yard touchdown last week. It's just stupid play. I'll rant about that later. So keep Alfred Morris going. Kenyon Drake tore up whoever the hell they played last week. He had 30 fantasy points, so keep him going. And Peyton Barber, he had a lot of touches last week. I actually didn't expect that. With Doug Martin out, Peyton Barber seems to be the one there. As long as Doug Martin's out, he's a startable running back. So keep that in mind for people in the playoffs that need some running back to take over whoever's injured spot. Sit the Eagles running backs because the touches are just so weird. Last week, not last week, but the week before, LeGarrette Blount did really good. He had like almost 100 yards rushing, and this week he had 26. So it's just, I don't trust Jay Ajayi either. That's just the Eagles running back situation. That's how they've always been. I don't like it. Don't touch it. Jordan Howard was supposed to come back last week and do really good, and he didn't. So they're just not a consistent offense. He gets a lot of volume, he gets touches, but Mitch Trubisky just doesn't keep that secondary honest. They're always going to be stacking the box against Jordan, so he's not a good play anymore. Kerwin Williams is going against the number 3 rush defense. Don't play that. And Marshawn Lynch. See how you wrote rant time here because I got so mad last week. So Marshawn Lynch, other than 51-yard run, only averaged like 3 yards per carry, right? So don't fall in love with Marshawn right now in playoff time. I don't like Marshawn. They don't run very well. And he's been involved maybe the last like 2 or 3 weeks. Other than that, he posts like 4 points, 5 points, 4 points. Bull crap. That rush touchdown he had, that 51-yarder, that defender literally saw him, looked like to be in position, and then stood straight up and let him go. Pissed me off. So anyways, regardless, I don't trust Marshawn this week. And Alex Collins, man, this dude has been really good lately. He's averaged a lot of points, but he's hurt, and he's going against an above-average Pittsburgh defense. So, I mean, if he feels like he's ready to go 100%, you almost can't not start him, but if he's still hampered like a game-time decision, I almost just wouldn't play him. I don't like it. At wide receiver, I say start Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, Robbie Anderson, and Jermaine Kearse, Larry Fitzgerald, and Brandon Cooks, and sit the Denver receivers, Devin Funchess, Golden Tate, Alshon Jeffrey, and Cooper Kupp. So Josh Gordon, the thing about him was he only had, I think, like 70-something yards or something, but he had like 13 targets. 13 targets, that's a lot of volume. And if he maintains that volume, he's a worthy start, like no matter what. And they're going against the Green Bay Packers, kind of a good defense. Just keep that in mind, but I think Josh Gordon's going to be a good start, especially if DeShone Kizer just keeps chunking it to him. He's got to get something, right? Jarvis Landry's been super steady, keep him going. Robbie Anderson, Jermaine Kearse. Robbie Anderson's hot, and Jermaine Kearse has come on really well as of late. He's had like 2 weeks with like at least like 15 fantasy points or something like that in PPR, so keep him going. Larry Fitzgerald he had a bad week 2 weeks ago, but this last week he came back and got a touchdown. I like Larry Fitzgerald against Tennessee. So remember, Tennessee is a good rush defense, but not the best pass defense. Lane Galbert's going to have to throw, and he's going to throw to Larry. And Brandon Cooks. Now, Brandon Cooks was like my #1 start last week, I think, and he had nothing. He did close to nothing. So apologize for that, but I think he's going to come back. He has to. It's just Tom Brady spreads the ball around so much. They run the ball a lot, but this week I think Brandon Cooks is coming back. The Denver receivers are just terrible because Trevor Siemian's terrible. Can't trust him. Don't play with it. Devin Funchess. Now, the thing about him, he's a good receiver. He's caught touchdowns the last couple of weeks, but the thing is he's hurt. And also, it doesn't help that he's going against the Minnesota defense, which is going to keep Cam like on his toes all freaking game. So I don't like that this week. And Golden Tate, he hasn't done much lately. It's usually Marvin Jones. Now, I think he did have quite a few receptions last week, so in PPR, that was good, but with Matthew Stafford kind of iffy, his throwing hands hurt, I don't like it. Alshon Jeffrey is going against, what's his name, Tremaine Johnson? Just some really good cornerback for the LA Rams, I don't remember. And the LA Rams are a good rush defense, just a good defense overall. I don't like it again with Carson Wentz there, especially when Carson throws to like a lot of other people. And Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been Jared Goff's go-to guy ever since Robert Woods went out. He had like another 100-yard game or something last week. It was really good. This week I would expect the same thing. I think Philadelphia's defense is really good. They have they have a good secondary, so don't trust that. At tight end, I say start Cameron Brate, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Jack Doyle, and Jason Witten, and sit Greg Olsen, Jared Cook, Charles Clay, Vernon Davis, and Steven Anderson. Cameron Brate, I was like super wrong about him last week. He was like one of my top sits, and Jameis Winston came back and threw 2 touchdowns to him. That's crazy. Yeah. So now that Jameis is back, it looks like it's Cameron Brate time again. He'll be the #1 receiving threat there. I said that over Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been like almost nowhere lately. Anyways, Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is a really good waiver wire pickup. He's been pretty solid tight end in the last couple weeks, and I think he's going to continue doing that against Washington. Evan Ingram, he had that Odell catch last week, and he's going against Dallas, who I think are just going to struggle to hold the tight end. They were a good defense last week, so I don't expect like 2 touchdowns, nothing, but I expect him to do okay. Jack Doyle, man, he got shut down last week against Jacksonville. I think they played Jacksonville. But anyways, he's either there or he's not. And that's kind of like just the whole offense in general for Indianapolis. So I like him this week against Buffalo, who I think really struggled against the tight end. And Jason Witten had 1 catch last week, but it was a touchdown. And I think that's going to happen again. I think New York's going to struggle to catch to keep up with Jason Witten, at least in the red zone. That's just what he does. So keep that in mind. Greg Olsen, don't trust that crap. I thought he was going to be a really hot waiver wire pickup, and he ended up not being. He's injured. He's just not going to be the same tight end we thought he was going to be in the beginning of the draft this year. Jared Cook has cooled off since his hot streak, since I think it was like before the bye. So don't play him. Charles Clay, if Tyrod's in, Charles Clay's okay, but if Tyrod's not, don't trust him. And Vernon Davis is like cooled off completely. I think 2 weeks ago he had like no points, and last week he had like 1 catch or something like that. No go for Washington, especially against the Chargers. And Steven Anderson, now I read about him today. I had no idea when I was thinking about this, and he had a really good game last week, and I think he's kind of been up and down throughout the whole season. I had no idea about him, but since they have no other tight end, he's going to be the #1 guy there, and he's probably a good streaming option. So keep that in mind. You could stream him if you need it. I know I need it because I trusted in Greg Olsen, who have been bouncing around tight ends all year. So just I think he'd be good, but keep in mind, it could be like a goose egg because that's that kind of matchup. Alright, at defense, I say start the New York Jets, the LA Chargers, the Green Bay Packers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Dallas Cowboys, and sit the Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, Detroit Lions, Washington Redskins, and Carolina Panthers. Now the Jets are going against Denver, who can't do anything to anybody anymore. Trevor Siemian threw like 3 picks last week, so don't expect that to go well for Denver. New York Jets is a good start. The Chargers are going against Washington, who seem to be a turnover team, so that's good for them. The Green Bay Packers are going against Cleveland, so you always start somebody against Cleveland. The Baltimore Ravens are going against Pittsburgh. Now it's an interesting matchup because Pittsburgh has been doing really well on offense as of late, but it's the Ravens-Steelers game, which I think are traditionally low-scoring games, and there's a lot of turnovers to be had. It's just going to be a fun game to watch, and I think the Ravens are a good, okay start here. Dallas Cowboys versus the Giants. Now, the Dallas did really well against Washington last week, and it could be a trap game for them though. Like I think I already said this, New York's coming back. So anyways, sorry about that. Dallas is a good start against New York because they made a bunch of turnovers versus Washington. Sit Miami Dolphins because they're going against New England's high scoring whatever. Denver Broncos you want to sit because Mike Allen's been really good. They're consistent. They're offense now, so don't start them. Oh, especially when Denver can't stop nobody, not even Miami. The Detroit Lions are going against Tampa Bay, and with Jameis Winston there, Tampa Bay is just going to throw all over Detroit, I think. It's going to be a good game, but I think Detroit's defense is just not where you want to be. The Redskins are going against the Chargers, who are white hot right now, and the Carolina Panthers are going against Minnesota, who has one of the steady offenses in the league right now, with Case Keenum throwing the way he's throwing. Mistake-free football. Adam Thielen's there. Stephon Diggs is there. He can stretch the offense, and they have a pretty sweet little running back core there with Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon. So Carolina's just probably not a good start, even though they are a good defense. In conclusion, now, okay, so what made me think of this was Ryan Shazier getting hit on Monday. That was scary. He had no lower body movement for a while. So just to keep a perspective here, I know these guys, we pick them, they score fantasy points for us, and when they do good, we love them. When they do bad, we hate them. But keep in mind that these are literal gladiators out there fighting for entertainment. And but they're not just that, they're people too. So keep that in mind this fantasy playoffs. Just want you all to think about that. So if the Cleveland Browns lose this week, there's a good chance that Green Bay is going to be fighting for a playoff spot, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Like I read about his Wolverine-like recovery time. So if he's there, he might be worth a stash. So I picked him up in one of the leagues I'm in. I'm excited. I hope that works out really well for me. And also keep in mind players like Peyton Barber, Steven Anderson, and Garoppolo. You may need them later. If you have an injury down the line, like Matthew Stafford right now, I know he was a starter for me until he got hurt. So just keep these guys in mind. They could be the one that helps you push your team to that finals playoff spot you're looking for, that championship you're looking for. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.